Imagine making one single trade and walking away with $1 billion in a single day. It sounds like a movie plot, but in September 1992, investor George Soros did exactly that. He didn't just make a fortune. He literally broke the Bank of England and forced a global superpower to rethink its entire currency system. To understand how this happened, and more importantly, what this teaches us about protecting our own money today, we have to look at what went wrong behind closed doors. Back in 1990, the United Kingdom joined the European Exchange Rate Mechanism, or ERM. The goal was simple: keep the values of European currencies stable relative to one another. To stay in this system, the British government promised to keep the value of the British pound artificially high. When an economy is weak, printing more money or keeping interest rates high to prop up a currency is like trying to hold a heavy weight underwater. Eventually, your arms give out. The market knew the pound was overvalued. Central bankers knew it too, but they refused to admit defeat because of political pressure. Enter George Soros and his team at Quantum Fund. Soros didn't just notice the weakness, he realized that the Bank of England was trapped. If they raised interest rates to defend the pound, they would crush their own domestic economy. If they didn't, the currency would collapse. So Soros decided to execute a massive strategy known as shorting the pound. If you're new to finance, shorting simply means borrowing an asset at today's price, selling it immediately, and planning to buy it back later at a much lower price to pocket the difference. Soros didn't just place a small bet. He leveraged his position up to $10 billion, selling British pounds as fast as he could. On September 16, 1992, a day now remembered as Black Wednesday, the storm hit. The Bank of England tried to defend its currency by buying up billions of pounds using foreign reserves. They even hiked interest rates from 10% to 12%, and then promised to push them to 15% in a desperate bid to attract buyers. It didn't work. Panic took over. Traders around the world followed Soros's lead and dumped their pounds. By the end of the day, the Bank of England surrendered. They pulled the pound out of the ERM, allowed the currency to plunge in value, and conceded defeat. In less than 24 hours, George Soros made over $1 billion in net profit. So what is the ultimate takeaway for your own financial journey? First, never fight market reality. Whether it's central banks, hype-driven stocks, or speculative assets, no institution can artificially pump a price forever if the underlying fundamentals are broken. Second, understand supply and demand. When real market demand falls, prices will inevitably adjust. Smart investors don't rely on promises or narrative. They rely on data and reality. If you want to protect your wealth, stop chasing the hype.